All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're exploring a pretty bold claim that the most exciting, the most innovative, and yeah, maybe even the best, films aren't coming out of Hollywood anymore. So is there any truth to that? Let's break down the argument and figure out where you might find your next favorite movie.
And this quote, well, it pretty much sums up the whole debate, doesn't it? It's provocative on purpose, drawing a line in the sand. On one side, you have the endless superhero sequels, and on the other, quote, actual art. It totally taps into that feeling of franchise fatigue that so many of us have. So let's take it seriously. Has Hollywood's output just gotten a little too predictable?
So, the biggest knock against modern Hollywood is this idea of franchise fatigue. It's that feeling of déjà vu you get at the movies, right? Like we're all caught in this loop of sequels, reboots, and cinematic universes. And look, those movies can be a ton of fun, but they often choose what's familiar over what's risky, and that leaves a lot less room for something truly original, something that really surprises us.
This right here really lays out the two different philosophies. On one side, you've got the Hollywood playbook, endless sequels, simple good versus evil stories, and formulas that are, let's be honest, pretty predictable. They're safe bets for a huge global audience. But on the other side, you've got this whole movement in world cinema that's all about original stories. These films dive headfirst into complexity, into characters that are messy and real, and into a kind of cultural authenticity you just can't fake.
Okay, so if we're running with that idea, it leads to the big question. Where is all this actual art coming from then? Well, let's put a spotlight on a few countries that are consistently knocking it out of the park with some of the most innovative films out there today.
First up, we've got to talk about South Korea. Over the last 20 years or so, South Korean cinema has become an absolute powerhouse. But they're not just making good movies, they are masters of genre. They take ideas we think we know and just flip them completely on their head.
South Korea's secret weapon is how they blend genres. Just think of a movie like Parasite. It's a thriller, but it's also a dark comedy and a family drama. And this razor-sharp social commentary. The tone can shift in a split second. This is what creates these incredibly unpredictable layered films that have found a massive audience all over the world. It proves you don't need a simple story to be a global success.
Next, let's hop over to France, a country with this incredible cinematic history that has always been about art over pure commerce. So, where South Korean film loves to play with genre, French cinema is famous for its super intense focus on character and just the messy, complicated reality of being human.
And that focus on character is everything. French films are often really patient. They're not afraid to just let you sit with the characters, to really get to know their flaws, their dreams, their contradictions. The point isn't always some big, explosive plot. Sometimes it's about the quiet, complicated, and deeply authentic drama of just living a life.
Okay, for our last stop, we're going to Mexico. There's a new wave of absolutely visionary filmmakers there who are telling stories that are so deeply and unapologetically tied to their own culture. They are bringing such a powerful and unique voice to the world stage.
And this is exactly their strength. Mexican filmmakers are tackling subjects with this raw honesty and a specific cultural viewpoint that you just don't see in mainstream Hollywood. The result is a kind of cinema that feels urgent, it feels essential, telling stories that are personal, political, and totally, completely unflinching.
So what we're really seeing here is a huge difference in approach. Hollywood is often aiming for that one-size-fits-all global blockbuster.